This was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who you recall was the professional liar, or AKA the press secretary for Donald Trump in his administration. She is also the daughter of Mike Huckabee, who was the governor of Arkansas before her. Not directly before her, but a few years ago. And this is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was given the green light to be the counter to Joe Biden.
On this earth for such a time as this, to charge boldly ahead. I'll be the first to admit, President Biden and I don't have a lot in common. I'm for freedom, he's for government control.
See, that's like, this is where, like, I'm not going to, because you guys are we're already over an hour into the show, but I could pause this probably every 5 seconds and say, Biden is for government control. Says the leader of the party in Arkansas that I don't know exactly all the restrictions on abortion in Arkansas, but the Republican Party is not exactly pro freedom right now. But we'll continue.
At 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. And at 8,
cool. That's cool. I mean, it's upsetting that the Republicans are outflanking Democrats on electing young people, but that doesn't really mean much. Yeah, Biden's old. Cool.
80, he's the oldest president in American history. I'm the first woman to lead my state, and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is.
I'm going to pause it there while I'm scratching my eye just to say that that's not true. And also, like, did the woke mob just come out of nowhere? Are we acting like these people wouldn't have called Barack Obama, all of this stuff 8 years ago? Come on.
In the radical left's America, Washington taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire. But you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery.
Gas prices have been going down. Grocery stores were hit by supply chain issues. Remember that an avian flu is why that there's no eggs, not because we're just tossing eggs out and we're randomly seeing increases in prices of eggs.
Shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another.
No, they're not. They're literally being taught American history. And if being taught history teaches you to hate, then that's a problem with you and your parenting style, not the actual lesson or the teacher.
On account of their race, but not to love one another or our great country.
You can have, I said I wouldn't pause it every couple seconds, but you can have a critique of this country and still love it. You can teach about the abominations and the atrocities and still look towards the good stuff as well, because the overwhelming majority of stuff is mixed. That's kind of the key to remember in history.
Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration...
There's nothing actually substantive in that.
...administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left.
How?
The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal.
Normal being in her mind, normal is the people that storm the Capitol, but normal being just people that accept other people, that let people live their lives, that want to have a more equitable society. But no, normal and the woke liberals.
We're crazy. It's time for a new generation of Republican leadership. Upon taking office just a few weeks ago, I signed executive orders to ban CRT.
Which was never taught in schools. It hasn't been taught in schools across the country. But of course, in Arkansas, which has significantly underperforming public education, this is the focus that they want to spend on.
Racism and indoctrination in our schools. Eliminate the use of derogatory term Latinx in our government. Repealed COVID orders and said never again to authoritarian mandates and shutdowns. Americans want common sense from their leaders. But in Washington...
I'm gonna cut her off here, but common sense, of course, in her mind is if there's a global pandemic, you can't have the authority to respond to it. That's kind of what she wants for sanity, and that's the normal, supposedly. But yeah, that is what we're dealing with now. Um, all in all, I think that the outlook for America is better now than it was, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, certainly under Trump, in my opinion. Do I think that Biden is like the greatest president ever? No. But I think that a lot of what he has done is progressive. It is ignoring an ideological lens. It is just good. And of course, I think that there's a million things that we could do more or better. But again, progress is slow. Passing these things is vital. And, I could say this, and I'll say this at the end of my State of the Union, is that I am damn proud to be an American, but I am not willing to roll over and take a beating when it comes to my local government, looking at you, Central Bucks, my state government, or my federal government, taking away people's rights, stomping on our history, ignoring our history, and not building something that is great, because we are living, if you live in America, in my opinion, the greatest country on earth, as I've said throughout this. But you cannot tout being the greatest country on earth if you stop striving to get better. The second you stop trying to get better as an individual or as a country is when you might as well pack it in and call it a day, because that is when you are dead. You have to constantly be improving yourself as a country to say, you know what? We have a homelessness problem. We have to solve that. We can't just let people live on the streets. We have a wealth inequality problem in this country. We can't let it continue to get worse and let the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. We have a racism problem, and we do. And rather than I'll say this, but rather than both sides LARPing about stupid issues around this, we have to actually tackle real racism, systematic oppression of people, whether that be black people or Muslim people. I mean, we can look at it in a million different lenses, right? We have to stop letting ourselves get divided over these stupid small things, like a character being recasted or something like that, and look at systematic oppression of people and systematic inequities, whether that be towards racism or wealth inequality or healthcare. We live in a country of abundance, of greatness. And until we recognize the fact that we have not only the ability to, but the responsibility to take care of everybody in our country, we will continue to have to face the fact that we are not living up to our potential. And in my opinion, America is better than that.